Next up is the mouse of... The mouse of Sauron? Yeah, Sauron has a mouse. I am Corinne, also known as the Cerny Reader, and today I bring you the news that Gondor calls for aid. But will Rohan answer? Hit the like button if Rohan answers the call, and hit the subscribe button if Gondor was absent when the Westfold fell. I am a huge fan of readathons, and recently I participated in the Magical Readathon hosted by G over at Book Roast in April, and the Pokemon Reads Challenge in May, and I had so much fun with those that I thought I wanted to host my own readathon. So today I am bringing you the Lord of the Readathon is my official title for it, inspired by, as you can see, my favorite franchise of all time. This readathon will span 3 months, so it will be July, August, and September. This reason is because The Hobbit was first published in July of 1937, and Fellowship of the Ring was officially published in September of 1954. So we're doing the July to September timeline to celebrate the publication anniversaries of these amazing books. Every month I will present you new challenges based on prompts, essentially, for books that are based on various aspects of the Lord of the Rings story. And there also is going to be 2 sides to this readathon. So you can be on the side of good, or you can be on the side of evil. So you can be a free person of Middle-earth, or you can join Sauron's forces. So you get to decide which one you want to do. And I recommend listening to all the prompts and explanations and things before deciding for sure that you're going to do one way or another. If you decide to become a member of if you decide to join the Free Peoples of Middle-earth, then in July you'll be challenged to gather your fellowship and read 1 book for every member of the fellowship, so 9 books in total. In August, you will depart from Rivendell. There's 8 prompts based on various landmarks that the Fellowship encountered. And in September, you will embark on the destruction of the ring and read books based on the land of Mordor and the trials that Frodo and Sam faced along their path to Mount Doom. If you decide to join the forces of evil, then in July, you will need to unite the forces of evil and read books, 1 for each member of Sauron's forces. And I have also arranged for it to be 9 books, so that no matter which side you choose, you're doing an equal amount of work, and you're not sort of feeling like overwhelmed by the fact that Fellowship is 9 but Sauron is 10, you know, something like that. In August, you will lay siege to the free lands, and in September, you will set out in search of the One Ring. Again, August and September's prompts will be released in future videos, so stay tuned to my channel, make sure you subscribe so you do not miss those announcements. I'll go ahead and go through the entire Gather Your Fellowship, the side of Free Peoples of Middle-earth first, and then talk about the prompts for Sauron's forces. So I urge you to listen to all the prompts first before making your decision. Of course, if there's one that you are particularly wanting to join, then I will have timestamps in the description below for you to jump around in this video and see what everything is. So let's start out with Gather Your Fellowship. Now, there are 9 books here. You can read them in any order, but I suggest reading them in the order of the Fellowship as it was formed. So first you have Frodo, and then Gandalf, and then Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, Boromir, and then Sam, and then Merry and Pippin. So that's all 9 of them. I can't believe I have the order of the Fellowship memorized. Like, what kind of nerd am I? If you are doing other readathons, such as the Book Junkie Trials, or in August if you are doing the Newt's Magical Readathon, you are more than welcome to overlap these books with books from that readathon as well. The prompts that I will be presenting to you should be have a wide enough span of possible choices that you can choose a good number of books for them. The only rule is that you can't overlap one book with another. So for example, if you choose a book for Frodo, you can't use Frodo's book to also count for Sam or any of the other fellowship. But you can use Frodo's book to count for, you know, a prompt for the July Junkies trials or for another readathon that you're doing. But I will not be policing you. I will trust you on your word. And after all, this readathon is supposed to be just about having fun and challenging ourselves. So the first prompt is for Frodo Baggins of the Shire. Because the main theme of Lord of the Rings is that
even the smallest person can change the course of the future.
In order to add Frodo to your party, you have to read a book that is between 91 and 122 pages. This is because Frodo is estimated to be between 3 feet and 4 feet tall, and 91 centimeters is 3 feet, and 122 centimeters is 4 feet. So you have to read a book that is the same length as Frodo is tall. Next we have Sam. Sam is a gardener, and the first shot we ever see of him in the entire movies, in all the movies, is of him repotting a flower. So to add Sam to your party, you have to read a book that has flowers on the cover or has flower in the title. Gandalf is a Maiar sent by the Valar gods in the guise of an aging wizard to help and save Middle-earth from various forces of evil over the years. His magic is very mysterious, but maybe you can understand it, which is why to add Gandalf to your party, you have to read a book about wizards or magic. Aragorn, son of Arathorn, is the descendant of Elendil, and we first meet him as Strider as he helps the hobbits to find their way to Rivendell. At the Council of Elrond, his identity was revealed as Aragorn, the lost king of Gondor. Aragorn wishes for you to understand the pressures of being king, so to understand his thought process, I guess you could say, and add him to your party, you have to read a book that features royalty, where the main character is a prince, or a princess, or a king, or a queen, or the daughter of an emperor, something along those lines. Legolas Greenleaf is the prince of the Mirkwood Elves. He is also a very talented archer. To that end, in order to earn his allegiance, you have to read a book about archery or featuring a character who is an archer. And I see a lot of you out there wanting to reread the Hunger Games for this prompt, and I say, go for it. Gimli the Dwarf is small yet reliable. In order to learn the reliability of the small folk, you have to read a book that's small but not too small, that you'll be able to rate 5 stars, which is the maximum you can rate things on Amazon and Goodreads and things. So to that end, you have to read a book that's between 200 and 300 pages that you think would be a 5-star prediction or that you think you will be able to enjoy. Boromir is a man, the son of Lord Denethor, steward of Gondor. He is most known for his loyalty and dedication to his friends. Knowing that you must trust your friends if you are to trust anyone, for Boromir's prompt, you have to read a book that has been recommended to you by a friend. Merry is a cheerful hobbit who loves both ponies and boats. His requirement is that you read a book that takes place on a ship, or is about ships, or that has a ship on the cover. Pippin is a comedic little hobbit who loves to play pranks with his best friend Merry by his side. In order to join the fellowship, he needs to know that his companions will laugh along with him. So to that end, you have to read a book that you think will make you laugh. Oh, but that's not all, my brethren. This wouldn't be a Lord of the Rings readathon without the Lord of the Rings trilogy itself. You can also read The Fellowship of the Ring to earn Arwen's Gift, which will come in handy for you next month. It's a special secret power that will come in handy next month for you during August. I have created a web page on my blog that I will link down below that has all these prompts and everything written out in plain text and in images that you can post on Twitter and Instagram on social media. So you can find everything down below at my link. Now let's talk about Sauron's forces. In July, you need to unite the forces of evil, so you'll have to read 9 books, one for each member of Sauron's army, to complete the challenge. First up is Sauron himself. To earn his trust, you have to read a book with a faceless eye on the cover. So, for example, something like this. But you can see the eye, but not the face that it belongs to. And this book is The Divide by Elizabeth Kay. So if you need an easy way to fulfill this prompt. Otherwise, if you can't find a book like this that has a faceless eye on the cover, then you can also read a book that has, a book that just has a person on the cover where you can clearly see their face and their eyes. Next up is Saruman. He was once part of the Maiar and known as the White Wizard, but now he's Sauron's second-hand man. To understand why he spends all his days dressed in white, you have to read a book with a white cover. Next up is the Witch King of Angmar. He is the leader of the Ringwraiths, Sauron's minions who hunt the One Ring, and he was once a man who was corrupted by a ring of power. So he wants you to understand what it's like to be corrupted by a ring of power, so to be able to earn his allegiance, I guess you could say, you have to read a book that features an anti-hero who is corrupted by some sort of power. So for example, if you need a recommendation, Clariel by Garth Nix, this is a perfect example of what I mean. Clariel is kind of an anti-hero, she gets corrupted by power, and it's amazing. Next we have the Balrog of Morgoth, the flaming monster who has dwelt deep in the caverns of Moria. You need to be able to withstand the flames coming off his body, so you will have to read a book with fire on the cover or with fire in the title. Next up is Gothmog, the lieutenant of the orcs. He is very intimidating to look at, so in order to understand him, you have to read a book that intimidates you. You also need to earn the trust of the goblins, the most numerous of Sauron's forces who live deep under the Misty Mountains. In order to do this, you have to read the most popular book on your TBR. An easy way to determine that, if you have all your books arranged on Goodreads, is to go to your Goodreads page and sort your TBR shelf by number of ratings, and then choose the one that has the most ratings. If you are not someone who uses Goodreads, first off, what are you doing? Join the 21st century. And second off, then you can just simply choose 5 or 10 books that you think are very popular, and then check each of those Goodreads pages for those books and see which one has the most ratings out of all of them. Next up is the Ringwraiths. Often referred to as simply the Nine, they travel Middle-earth in search of the One Ring. So to understand the importance of the number 9, you have to read a book with 9 in the title. So for example, it could be in the title itself, like Gideon the Ninth, or Ninth House, or it could be book number 9 in a series. So I'll leave it up to you to decide. Next up is the Haradrim. Originally from the southern territory known as Harad, these were Sauron's most notable human ally during the Third Age. So in order to understand them, you have to read a book that has a cardinal direction in the title. So for example, south, east, north, or west. Next up is the Mouth of Sauron. He is Sauron's emissary and servant, and is known as the Lieutenant of Barad-dûr. He is the voice of Sauron and speaks Sauron's thoughts. For this prompt, you need to read a book about books, or a book within a book, or even something like Crap Kingdom or the Enchanted Forest Chronicles, which are sort of meta-genre savvy books. As with the Free Peoples of Middle-earth, there is also a bonus prompt that you can fulfill to gain the reinforcements from Corsair. To get the reinforcements from Corsair, you can go ahead and read The Hobbit, and if you do get the reinforcements from Corsair, you can use them in August to get bonus benefits. And that's it, basically. You have the entire month of July to read the books for your chosen side, and for example, in July, if you decide to be on the good side of the good peoples, the Free Peoples of Middle-earth, and then in August you decide that the Sauron's Forces prompts are more fitting to what you would like to read, then you can switch, because as Tolkien himself proved with characters like Saruman and Gollum, a noble heart can be corrupted by darkness, and a dark heart can be turned to the good side. The only thing is that you have to stick with it during the month. So for example, if you choose to be on the side of the Free Peoples during the month of July, then you have to stay on the side of the Free Peoples of Middle-earth until the end of July, and then you can switch in August. Also, if you are, for example, on the Free Peoples of Middle-earth, and you get Argwyn's Gift, and then in August you decide to switch to the dark side, then you can still use Arwen's Gift as the reinforcement from Corsair. Those are kind of overlapping. I'm not making any, you have to not use those. You can still use those. The prompts for the August challenges will be posted in the middle of July, sometime around the 10th to the 15th of the month. So you have enough time to choose your books, and if you are like me and you play a TBR game and stuff, then you have enough time to still choose books and film your TBR game and whatnot. Please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss that update for August's challenge. Also, make sure to share this video on your various social medias and get as many of your friends as possible to participate in this readathon, because the more people who participate, the more fun it's going to be. And we can all share our love together for Lord of the Rings, the best franchise in the world. Thank you very much for watching. I will link some other videos here if you are interested in seeing more of my content. I'm Corinne, also known as Discerning Reader, and I talk about books that you should be reading so you don't have to spend hours scouring the Goodreads and New York Times bestseller lists to find something new to read. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope I will see you in my next video. Bye-nie!